My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Elite Collection Survivor Series, the Limitless Keith Lee. And so here we have Keith Lee posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Keith Lee does come with two sets of hands. We do get a pair of grip hands. We get a thumbs up right hand and a left fist. We also do get his entrance hoodie, which looks really nice. It is done in a soft rubber. Other than that, Keith Lee doesn't come with anything else. I would have liked to see a right fist. That would have been nice to see, but unfortunately we don't get another fist for Keith Lee. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at the Survivor Series Keith Lee, and I think Mattel has done a really good job with this Keith Lee figure. Now, I do have one issue with it, but we'll get on to that when I actually have a look at it. As far as the head sculpt goes, this is a really nice head sculpt for Keith Lee. Originally, I thought this was a remold of the basic Keith Lee figure, but it's actually not, because the basic Keith Lee actually had the beard sculpted on, and this one doesn't. And I was actually surprised that the bearded sculpt wasn't used for this figure. Add to it, he has less hair on his Elite figure than he does on the basic figure, so the head sculpt is completely different. Even though it's very similar, it might be a retooling, but it's not the same head sculpt, and I do like that. So Keith Lee here is a very nice looking figure, and I do mean a very nice looking figure. They almost nailed his proportions perfectly, and from a front view, yes, this looks just like Keith Lee, and it would be as you would imagine. He's a big guy, look at that. The issue I have with this figure is he's not big enough. I'm talking about his gut. Keith Lee, he's not a slim guy, and he is very slim in this figure. He should have more of a rounded gut, and it's just how his body is. He has a bigger gut. Not to say that's a bad thing. He still does amazing things in the ring, but yeah, he has a very small gut here, and it's something that WWE and Mattel do with their figures, is they don't like giving them big round guts. And even though I think this figure needs it, it's not something that I'm willing to say it's a terrible figure for, because the not the soft goods, but his entrance hoodie does make him look bigger. So if you want him to look big, you can just leave the hoodie on him and it'll do just fine. Other than that, that's my one and only complaint about this figure, is that his belly isn't big enough. Now, he is pretty wide as Keith Lee is, and they nailed that perfectly. And to be quite honest, I was never a fan of when they put a singlet on him. That was a really terrible idea. I'm not a fan of the fact that they painted on his elbow pad, but when you see how big his arms are, you kind of understand why they did it. If they had put on one of their thick rubber elbow pads, you would probably only get his arm to bend about that far, but because it is just painted on, we still get the full range of movement, so I do like that. Keith Lee does have black wrist tape. As you can see, it's on both wrists right here. It looks really nice. Moving on to his trunks, we can see that he has the baby blue trunks that I think are very good. We do have the Bask in My Glory right here. We have Keith Lee posing right here on the other side. And then we have Keith Lee on the back. I would have liked it if it said Limitless on the back, because on the basic figure it did say Limitless. But then we also had the Keith Lee initials right here. So, you know, I think it's saying Keith Lee is perfectly fine. Then we go on to his big old meaty legs, and they did a really good job there. Surprisingly, these knee pads actually fit the figure nicely. Now, I didn't notice when moving the figure around, these knee pads have a tendency to drop down just because of how thick his thighs are. You're going to see that the knee pads want to slide down to his calves. You can remedy that by using a hairdryer and just slightly pushing these up, but if you don't want to do that and keep them the way they are, that works fine too. And then finally we do go on to his ring boots, where Keith Lee has basic black ring boots. Nothing against basic black ring boots. I think black ring boots look good, especially when they're a solid color like this, although I would have probably liked to see a baby blue sole right here, just so it kind of goes with his tights, but overall still a very nice looking figure. So my one and only nitpick about this figure is his gut. I kind of wish he was a bigger guy. That belly would have been really nice to see on a figure. But anyway, that's all for Keith Lee. There's really not much more to say because this is before they strapped that ridiculous singlet on him, which I think he never needed. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually have a closer look at how Keith Lee stacks to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have the Survivor Series Keith Lee posed next to an Ultimate Edition Brock Lesnar and a basic Jeff Hardy. And so here we have the Elite Survivor Series Keith Lee posed next to the Elite 82 Keith Lee and the basic Keith Lee. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Keith Lee's articulation. Now Keith Lee does have the standard Elite articulation, which is a ball joint here at the neck. He can only look up to about that far, and he can't really look down. Unfortunately, because of how low his head sits on his neck, we don't get too much downward movement. He does get some upward and some very little head tilt. He can turn to about right there. His chin does get in the way when it collides with his trap, so do keep that in mind. If you try forcing it, there's a chance you can break that peg. His arms are on ball joints that do go out to the side really nicely. They go all the way around. Now unfortunately they don't sit flush on his body because his body is kind of big. It would have been nice if his arms could sit a little bit lower, but overall I'm not too distraught about it. He does have a bicep swivel, which works fine, no problem. Single bend at the elbow, giving us a complete 90 degree. And as you can see, they painted it all the way through, unlike the Ultimate Edition Kane. We do have a swivel hinge here at the wrist. We do have an ab crunch, which does lean back, leans forward quite a bit. Really impressed by how far he leans forward. If he had a bigger gut, I think he wouldn't get that kind of lean. So, gotta take one for the team, I guess, right there. But he does have a swivel here at the waist. He does move about that far with his legs. Unfortunately, it doesn't go any higher than that. Goes about that far back. Goes all the way out to the side, no problem, because he is limitless. He can swivel at the thigh, double bend at the knee, and this is the issue I was talking about with the knee pad, how it likes to slide down. And you can just slide that back up, but it does take a little bit of effort because of how chunky his thighs are. He does swivel at the thigh, has a hinge in the ankle going back and forward, and then we do have rocker ankle. So overall, Keith Lee here has some pretty good articulation, and I do like what we have with this figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the Survivor Series Keith Lee pose for my final thoughts. And overall, I really did enjoy this figure. This is a very nice Keith Lee figure. And if you were unable to find the Elite 82 Keith Lee, this is a very nice pickup. It's not going to be the exact same figure, but quite frankly, I think this is a much better figure in terms of quality of plastic. This one does feel like it's made out of a better material. So if you had to pick one, I would definitely go with the Survivor Series Elite Keith Lee. They come with the exact same accessories, and to be quite honest, I'm more fond of the baby blue trunks than I am of the all black trunks. So this is a very nice figure, and I really do like what Mattel did with Keith Lee here. Yeah, he is a little bit light on accessories when it comes to hands, but the hands he does come with, I think, work for this figure. So if you're a fan of Keith Lee, you're gonna want to have this figure in your collection. With my minor nitpick that he is a little bit too thin in terms of the gut, the hoodie does make him look a little bit bigger, so that does make up for it in some way. So I really can't argue there. Keith Lee will run you about $22 at retail. Unfortunately, the Mattel Elite figures have gone up in price. Originally they were priced at $19.99. They are now priced at $22.99. So you're looking to pay about $25 a figure, which is kind of steep for a Mattel figure considering they don't really come with too many accessories. But Keith Lee here is an exceptional figure, so I guess I can make an exception for this figure. If you're a fan of Keith Lee or just want a really nice wrestling figure in your collection, definitely bask in the glory of this figure and pick it up, for it is limitless. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other WWE videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you'd like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it fits in my collection, I'll gladly have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.